It's known as the beautiful game, but let's face it, it's a complicated game, guys.
Hello guys, today we're going to review the movie Next Goal Wins, directed by Taika Waititi. But before we continue, don't forget to hit that like button, share this video, comment, subscribe to my channel, and hit that notification bell so you'll be updated when new content comes out. Sports films based on real-life events have always had a special place in my heart. They provide pleasure and inspiration, and move me to feel various emotions, despair, excitement, and pure joy. Indeed, nothing can beat a story that actually happened when one wants to feel good, especially if it is an underdog story. Glory Road, 42, Cool Runnings, Eddie the Eagle, Moneyball, and Race come to mind. In these films, we see a person or a team overcome tremendous challenges that would defeat an ordinary human being, and that is where we derive the pleasure. Unfortunately, for Next Goal Wins, directed by Taika Waititi, I can only derive displeasure from watching it. The movie is about the attempt of the American Samoa football team to gain respectability after their utter humiliation in FIFA. Their federation hires a down-on-his-luck coach, Thomas Rongen, played by Michael Fassbender, to turn their team around, and the viewer is then exposed to a barrage of all the sports movie cliches you can think of. We get the usual platitudes about victory, unity, redemption, and to Vin Diesel's utter joy, family. We get the training montage, we get the recruitment montage, we also get the fish out of water scenario for Michael Fassbender as cherry on top. Of course, it can't be denied that with sports movies, the pleasure actually comes from the cliches. The training montage, the redemption arc for characters, and the eventual victory. But what makes the best sports movies is how the cliches are handled. It gets more challenging with movies based on real life since the ending is already known, so it takes real skill to be able to make a story with a known ending still be compelling. Sadly, Next Goal Wins fails on so many levels. It fails as a sports film, a comedy, a drama, and a character study. It is messy and confused as a movie, trying to juggle multiple themes, thus ending with the material falling all over the floor. It is disappointing since the story has a lot of potential and could have shone brightly, but all we get is a dim-witted movie that further buries Taika Waititi down Hollywood's clout graveyard. There is comfort in the familiar and the expected. That is why there are tropes and cliches that please us. And with an underdog sports film, we know that there are certain elements that will appear. Now, whether the cliches please us is entirely dependent on the skill of the director. In the case of Taika Waititi, he has directed some high-quality films like What We Do in the Shadows and Thor Ragnarok. Thus, watching Next Goal Wins gives one the impression that they just placed the name of Waititi and asked their janitor to direct. What we thus get is a slug of a film where every bit of joy has been thrown out. We also get a taste of identity politics, but it wasn't handled with proper sensitivity. The script is a mess with jokes that fall flat and platitudes that make one nauseous. We get a thoroughly unlikable main character in Thomas Rongen, so I ended up hoping he fails, which is a mortal sin in these kinds of movies. While he gets some sort of redemption, it is definitely unearned. The game sequences also leave much to be desired. There is a lack of spatial clarity in the games, thus making for a choppy viewing experience. What is really horrible is the attempt to experiment with the narrative by making the climax fall into flashback mode, thus making the victory of the underdogs totally lose all sense of excitement and glory. What should have been a triumphal sequence of redemption turns into an anticlimactic mess. It's as if the movie is telling the audience to go leave the theater immediately. I wasn't expecting much when I watched the movie. It turned out I was being too kind. This is a bad movie in every sense, and it doesn't even fall into the so bad it's good category. It is just so bad, it makes you sad for the people who made this. Avoid this one. So that's the review for Next Goal Wins, directed by Taika Waititi. This has been Kulas for Tambe Reviews. Thank you for watching. Keep on playing.